Being a student athlete is a balancing act alone, and with new ACC teams on the West Coast, athletes are definitely going to have another challenge at their feet.
For the bigger meets, we'll be gone for up to a week, and then the smaller meets, it'll be about a night or two, depending on where we're going and if we're flying or not.
So last season we were away for around 11, 12 days, and we're doing the same thing this year. So in the beginning of every season, we'll take a trip down to Florida and we'll just stay there for 11 days. So that's definitely the longest that we're away from school.
I try to take in-person classes undergrad, but now that I'm in my master's, I'm doing my master's in business, my MBA, and it's all online because I wanted the ability to be able to travel without worrying about missing classes or missing exams. So I did it online for that reason, but I'd prefer to do in-person classes most of the time just because I just like the style of teaching for my undergrad program in SPAD, where I was able to have one-on-one talk with the teachers after if I needed to, or just have a personal relationship with them to where I could actually understand the context, and then on top of that, have a teacher who I knew actually knew who I was and cared about my grade and cared about who I was as a student. Even before the conference realignments, like basketball would go to different countries to compete. We would go to California or Texas for meets, which are long plane rides, but at the same time, Texas isn't in our conference. The schools in California we were going to weren't in our conference. And I think some other teams would possibly do other travels like that. I don't know how frequently they did it, but I feel like occasionally teams were used to traveling for longer periods of times. I think for us it's easier because we have, I want to say about, like I said, a week whenever we take those trips, or at least 4 nights while we're out there. So we have time to settle in and get stuff done if we are competing, whereas if you're in a sport where you're playing multiple games, or in a sport where you only play one game and you have to come right back, I think that's difficult because you're not really getting as much time to focus on your schoolwork and do all that.
I can definitely see difficulty in times where we have a midweek game and then we have to quickly turn around and fly to California 2 days later. So I don't really know how that traveling is going to work out, but I think it's definitely going to be a lot of adapting, and everybody's just going to have to be flexible with all the traveling and making sure we're getting our work done on time, obviously. But I think more than anything, just traveling alone impacts your body. So having to perform at your highest capability, it's going to bring some struggles for sure, but I think athletes will definitely figure it out, but it will be a bit of a challenge at first.